carry the team in that first half?
Well, we were surprised, I think, by their physicality. We knew they had size. It's a big team, obviously. They got Big Ten size, but they were tough. They were physical. And there was a lull there offensively in the middle of the first half where Marcus took over. And we needed that because we weren't getting a lot of good stuff. We were over-penetrating. We weren't playing off the 2 feet in the lane. And Marcus made some big-time plays, but that's what a big-time player does. I thought we settled in midway or towards the end of the first half, and obviously scoring 88 points versus anybody's pretty good. So that's a good team. That's a well-coached team. That's a big team, a physical team.
Next, we will go to andygreder.
Richard, is the message to Liam to just let rebounds go once in a while and not foul at that point? Is that kind of the message?
Exactly right. Yeah, that second foul over the back, didn't really have it, But for Liam, it's because of, the weird offseason, we didn't have scrimmages with refs. We didn't have exhibition games with refs. So he's just going to have to be smarter because it's hard to play like that, get into a flow when he's constantly in foul trouble.
Next, we will go over to Marcus Fuller.
Coach, talk about Booth's ability to affect the game when he's not scoring. It seemed like defensively he was pretty engaged all night.
He was terrific. I thought he started to disrupt them, got a couple of legal screens, got 3 steals. Yeah, he was phenomenal tonight. He's a stat sheet stuffer. And I think when you've got him, Gabe, Marcus going downhill, getting to the lane, good things can happen. We got to offensively do a better job of driving and getting somebody else a shot. But I thought Booth really, really impacted the game, made a big 3 late. When he shoots the ball with confidence, he's a terrific player.
And Sam, we're actually going to go back to you now.
Yeah, with Liam, do you think the outside shot could be a part of his game, sort of to the extent that it was with Daniel last year, a couple of game and just the ability to shoot 30-35%?
2 for 2, right? Was good. I thought he was really good at some dribble handoff stuff up top, But yeah, if you have a 5-man like that who can knock down 1 or 2, you don't want them to be consumed with it by any means, but it can really space the court. To be 7 feet tall and be able to pick and pop like that's hard to do.
Andy, back to you.
What did you like defensively? I saw 19 turnovers and then getting out in transition. What did you like with that?
Exactly that. We turned them over at a high rate. Still fouled a little bit too much. I bet both teams probably weren't very happy with that. But if we can turn teams over and get out on the break, some good things can happen. And I thought our hands were very, very active. And Booth, I thought, set the tone there for sure.
And Marcus, back to you.
Having to play the same team twice, it's obviously unique. What did you see from this game? And were you trying to hold some things back maybe so you don't show them too much in the first one and second one? Or
yeah, we wanted to go win the game. I coached it as if, it's the last game of the season, right? This pandemic is so unique. Any opportunity you have to go play the game, it's a win in itself. But we really focus a lot on ourselves. I think Loyola is a very good team. I think Stan Johnson's doing a really good job of instilling toughness, physicality. They're bought into that. I think our guys saw that on the court. They made us earn it. And so, it's not about what you're doing. It's about how fundamental you do that. And I thought our guys were pretty good towards the end there.
And back over to you, Andy.
When you guys started 3 for 15, what didn't you like about things offensively? And then to finish, I think 46%, what did you like after that?
Yeah, I thought we were not flowing real well. It was one initial thing that didn't lead to something better. I do think their size and physicality surprised us. We definitely settled in late in the first half to where we were getting, efficient looks at attacking the basket. It was also a little bit choppy because there were so many fouls, which there tends to be late, early in the season. But we were just kind of stuck on one side. I thought we flowed much better in the second half.
AJ, we will go to you next.
Coach, late in the game, Brandon Johnson gave you guys some very important minutes. I think he had 14 in the second half and contributed for 8 of those points. How important was that with running into foul trouble early on and throughout the game?
It was huge. You know, I mean, it's we have to remember with Eric's still getting into the flow, getting in the swing of things. And, you know, Brandon had been hurt. You know, he had missed some time, but now he's getting back in the flow. He probably missed about 3 weeks, you know, so now that he's healthy, he's going to really be able to help us. So, you know, he was terrific off the bench, made a lot of really good plays, drew some charges, did some good things.
And I'm waiting to see if any more questions pop in here. Just giving it a few seconds. Does anyone have any more questions for Coach Pitino? All right, Coach, you're off the hook. Thank you very much for your time. As I mentioned earlier, we're going to have Booth and Brandon Johnson joining us here in a few minutes. Just hang tight with us. All right, so we're going to start it off with Brandon Johnson. Again, same drill as before. Please message me if you'd like to ask a question. We'll get going here. Andy, start us off.
Brandon, Richard talked about the physicality of LMU. What did you notice there, and how did the game kind of change once Liam picked up fouls and had to sit?
We just needed a presence out there because Liam's an important guy to the team, important guy on both ends of the floor. So with one person out, you got to pick up the slack for him. So I just felt like me bringing my energy and everything on both ends of the floor would energize everybody and just get us jump started.
Marcus Fuller.
Brandon, what did you see from Marcus again in the first half? You know, you guys are in a lull, and then, you know, offensive spark came from him almost single-handedly.
Overall, like, Marcus is unbelievable. One of the best point guards I've ever played with, ever come across. And once he gets that look in his eye, he knows, like, can't nobody stop me. I'm just about to get a bucket. We're gonna get a stop, and we're gonna do the same thing coming back down. So yeah, that's my guy, and I'm rocking with him 100%. Whatever he says, whatever we talk about in the huddle, it's just a collective thing. So,
AJ, over to you for the next one.
Brandon, you ran into some foul trouble early on that first half, and Pitino called on you late in that second half, and you played a lot. Can you kind of just walk us through how you're able to come over those fouls and provide for the team?
Just moving on to the next play. It was small mental mistakes on my end, which caused the foul. So stuff that over the years that I know I shouldn't have done in the first place. But seeing that we needed some type of jolt on the court at that time, I couldn't worry about that at that time. Regardless of if I had 3 fouls, 4 fouls, I was just willing to do whatever it took to help my team get a W. So.
Next, we will go over to Sam Ekstrom.
Hey, Brandon, you've mentioned the energy a few times. How much more important is it this year to bring that when there is no crowd to provide it for you?
It's definitely vital. In the past couple of years of me playing college basketball, the fans were pretty much my adrenaline boost coming out. But now, like, we got to be our own fans. Like, when we're on the sidelines, we got to cheer for one another 100%, 110%. So it's very important for us to be encouraging, be loud on the sidelines, be loud on the court, keep talking and everything, because it's only us out there.
Andygreder, back to you.
You said that Marcus gets a look in his eye. How would you describe that look?
It's kind of similar to like LeBron, like game 6 or game 7, that type of look. Like it's no talking. It's just, all right, we got to get this done. We're messing up here. Get your acts together. Come on.
And over to you, Marcus. Marcus Fuller. Is anybody, are you good,
Sorry
Marcus?
about that. I got
No,
it. Brandon, just talk about the size of LMU and the fact that, you and Liam, obviously Eric hasn't played in a while. Facing a team like this, how is it going to prepare you for the Big Ten, facing them twice even?
Like Coach was talking about, it's hard to beat a team twice, but as long as we stick to our fundamentals offensively and defensively, I believe we're going to be perfectly fine. But LMU, they have the size of a Big Ten team, so it's a good warm up going into conference play and everything, because they have a lot of bigs on that side, on their side and everything. So it's definitely a good test.
All right. Does anyone have any more questions for Brandon? Awesome. Brandon, thank you for your time.
Appreciate it. Thank you. No problem.
All right, next we'll wrap it up with Booth Gotch. Just a few seconds here. All right. We will finish off today with Booth Gotch. Same drills before. Message me if you'd like to ask a question to Booth, and we will begin with Andy Greder.
Booth, how did you feel like your disruptions defensively helped spark you guys?
Man, I was just trying to get in this, passing lanes, whatever, they're giving out those handoffs. I was just trying to blow it up as much as I can. I was just creating some energy for our team, because that's, we needed it. We started off the game a little sluggish, so I was just trying to be the one trying to pick us up a little bit, trying to get us, start on the defensive end, try to get guys going.
AJ, over to you.
Booth, you had a pretty nice highlight play there with Jarvis on that alley-oop in transition. Can I just talk through that, and hopefully we can see more of those later in the season?
For sure, yeah. Jarvis, he's a really athletic player. He's one of those guys. If you're running with him, you gotta throw it up, because he's one of those guys that's gonna get it. So for me, whenever I see Jarvis, those opportunities and things like that, I always try to throw him the ball, because he's gonna be one of those guys that can go up there and get it.
Sam Ekstrom.
Hey, Booth, can you just describe what it was like to watch Marcus during that stretch in the first half when he kind of took things over and made up that deficit?
Yeah, man, that's just what he do, man. Marcus is one of those guys, he knows how to get a bucket whenever you want him to, whenever you need him to. So it was just pretty, it was something we needed. There was a moment point we weren't really scoring, so what he did, taking over, it's something that we needed, and it's fun to watch it.
Next, we'll go to Marcus Fuller.
Booth, talk about the front court, and obviously, this was a big team, so they needed some help with rebounding. But how did they, in the second half, it seemed like they made a definitely a bigger impact offensively.
Yeah, for us, it was just keying down, one of the things that we need, to start doing a little bit better is just rebounding. They're a big team. They're a team that got, Big Ten size and things like that. So for us, it was kind of a surprise, we weren't expecting it, even the coach was telling us, sometimes you just got to see it to believe it. So for us, it was just pretty much just coming down, sticking to our principles and things like that. And, we got it done.
Does anyone have any more questions for Booth? Any last ones before we wrap it up? Andy, back to you.
What's the challenge with facing a team back to back?
Man, it's gonna be hard. It's hard being, to a team, back to back. So for us, it's pretty much keying in. Probably gonna watch film sometime tomorrow and just learn from our mistakes. And for us, it's pretty much we just gotta stick to our principles. Like I said, play, come up, start the game with a lot more energy. That's something I feel like we need to do because when they're warming up, I can sense their energy on the other side of the court. For us, I didn't really, sense that when we was warming up. So for us, it's all about energy, being ready from the tip, and just dial it down, get ready to go.
And again, I'll just ask one last time to be sure. Does anyone have any last questions for Booth? All right, looks like we're all set. Booth, thanks for joining us. Appreciate you taking your time, and everyone else, thanks for hopping on tonight.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you guys.
See you, everyone.